Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everyone? It is Friday, end of the week, April 5th, 2019. I think it's April 5th, yeah. What do we got going on? We have the Actually Spy gave us a little bit of some action yesterday. It's been in an uptrend for quite a while with its, normal, usual pullbacks here and there. Nothing too crazy yesterday. It had a few moments where it pulled back quite a bit and brought some stocks with it. It closed in green, nothing crazy though, but definitely brought some stocks down when it was pulling back and gave it a little bit of life. Obviously, when it went a little bit of little red and green action. So that being said, we're going into the session with 7 stocks on watch. And we got a few, obviously, continuations, a few newbies, and we're going to get into it. So, as you can see, we got set up TTWO. TTWO took a little bit of a trim yesterday, so it went down a little over 4 points. And it's kind of setting up for something a little bit deeper. I don't see any resistance to any support too strong for another couple points. So we're gonna see how this thing obviously reacts in the morning. And obviously, if we see some weakness, we'll see if we can step in and take it down. Obviously, it traded pretty cleanly yesterday. So if we see the same chart setting up, we're going to see if we can get into a little bit of a starter and go from there. All right, next up we have RPM. RPM, clearly the street didn't want this elevated price, right? So it had a quick life in the 64 level and got stuffed out, and once it crossed view up to the downside, then it just cleared. It didn't look back. And right now it is, let's see, the low of the day was 59, so $60, right? And obviously the target would be 59.60. So right now it's trading at 60.61. We'll see what happens. There's some action after market last night, and we're gonna see, obviously, going into the market, if it settles down. I mean, it might just be some dip buyers. We'll see what happens. If that VWAP holds, I definitely anticipate the finaling of the gap fill to the $59.60 level. So if that's the case, we have another point to the downside, and we'll take it. Why not? Let's take this thing down, all the way down. Next up, TCDA, usual suspect. It's actually obviously had that run up on the 28th of March, and right now it's kind of setting up that flag, right, on the daily, on the hourly, and even on the 15. So we'll see what happens. It's not sure what we're going to do with this thing yet. We're going to see if it shows some weakness. It's obviously showing some lower highs and lower lows, but it has a touch of a curl going on. So we'll see on the weekly. You can see that it's just peaked over its all-time high. That being said, we'll see if it shows some weakness on Friday. Friday is usually a volatile day, and people taking profits if they had caught this run up. So we'll see what's going on with this thing, and obviously if it shows some weakness, we're gonna definitely like this thing to the downside. CDNA, this thing, as you can clearly see, had a little bit of a trim yesterday, down a little over 13%, and again, right now, it obviously had a little bit of a run for a couple of months, pulled back quite hard. So obviously, sellers are stepping in, institutions are taking some profits and unloading some shares. So we're going to see if this thing continues. If we have a day 2 continuation, obviously we'll step in once it shows some weakness to the downside. Next up, we have PBYI. This gives a couple opportunities here. Obviously, you can see on the daily it's have some gaps, both to the upside and the downside, and it's not sustaining its level. It's looking kind of weak. So that being said, I like that we have a little bit of action here. I think we have some gap to be filled, and I think it's going to happen relatively quick. So that we got 91% institutional ownership, which I like. Just about $2 average true range, and showing some weakness. So if that's the case, we're going to see if once it settles down in the morning and trades below VWAP, we'll see if we can step in. VRNT, this thing's a fighter. I gotta tell you, it's been fighting. So, obviously after his gap up on the 28th, it peaked out a couple days ago, put that curl in, and at the end of the day, it's working on the backside, right? So it's not gonna be sustain this elevated price, which obviously, like anything else, what goes up must come down, and right now it's looking like it's coming down. So obviously with stocks like this, you have 95% institutional ownership, almost $2 ATR. So there's plenty of room to the downside, and the moves will be substantial when they happen. So obviously, we got to be diligent with your risk. But if you're patient enough and wait till this thing trades below VWAP, you can mitigate your risk quite nicely. Last but not least, Boom obviously is another one that had a couple gap ups, as you can see on the daily. One in February, another one obviously in the beginning of April, and we got this day two, but it's obviously putting in lower highs and lower lows. So fought a little bit today or yesterday afternoon, pretty much traded above VWAP all day, and shown some strength. So we're gonna respect that and see if it's ready yet. If not, we'll just patiently wait on the sidelines and see if this thing gets exhausted and starts to come on back down to reality. All right, guys. So listen, it's Friday. Enjoy the day. Trade safe. It's a very volatile day in the markets, as you guys always know. And as always, you have to stick to your stops. Stay very, very diligent. Let the setups come to you. Crystal clear trading plan. Anything you get into, don't just hop in and hop out of stocks. You got to have a clear plan to get into anything, right? So clear setup, stick to your stops, and be patient. All right, guys, if you want to know what we're doing here and how we're doing and how we do these charts, how we pick our stocks for a watch list, any other questions, man, come check out the site. We're at thestreettrading.com, and we'll get you sorted out on the 90-day course. All right, guys, have a great day in the market.